if you're feeling like kind of stuck, or you're feeling maybe unsure of like why you can't go to classes, or you're not seeing that change you want to see, or maybe you're just unsure of your next step, the answer might lie right within you. So let's get into it. Grab your beverage of choice and pull up a chair. Let's have a chat. What's up, all you Jesus followers and yoga viewers? It's Kristen here, and we are going to talk about a subject today that we haven't really done a deep dive into, but it's so incredibly important as you lead in all of the capacities that you lead. So whether you're leading teams or staff of other yoga and fitness instructors, or whether you're just leading classes, or maybe you're just leading your family right now, I think it is crucial that we spend time talking about the power of leadership and how it leaks. My pastor always says, when the leader gets better, everyone gets better. And I truly, truly believe that. All right. So John Maxwell is one of my favorite thought leaders about leadership. If you guys don't follow him or subscribe to his work, do it. It's so good and so foundational in me as a leader. Something he says is, you'll never change your life until you change something you're doing consistently. The secret to your success is found in your daily routine. And I like this, and I know this is going to expose some stuff, and I don't want you to hear anything that I'm sharing with you under the umbrella of shame, right? Like, I just want you to come in, guards off, and just allow the Holy Spirit to maybe infuse you with the ears to hear what he might be speaking to you through this. Because I truly believe that even if we just focus on the leadership of ourselves, right? Many of us struggle to even lead ourselves. And so, of course, we're going to struggle with leadership around us. I believe that this chat that we're about to have can be so beneficial as we talk about bettering ourselves as leaders and how that can just flow over into those we lead, right? Leadership leaks. I love it. And it goes both ways. Another quote that I want to share with you, there's an account on Instagram that I really like. It's Leaders Only CO. So if you guys want to grow in your leadership, I don't even know who runs the actual account, but the stuff they put out is so impactful to me personally, and I just love it. So I have two quotes that I wanted to share with you. Just as a reminder before we get into our work today. It's the first one says, the person that you'll be in 10 years depends on the food you eat today, the people you interact with today, the habits you keep today, the books you read today, the risks that you take today, and the people you spend time with today. I love that, right? And the next one that I wanted to share is, true leaders do not create more followers. And this is hard in our society today, like especially on the social media and all the things. We think we need more followers, we need more people, we need more eyes on us. They create more leaders. They teach, they guide, they inspire others to rise up and lead in their own right. Real leadership is about empowerment, not control. So this is about building others, not our ego. I love that, you guys, because a lot of times when I think we get leadership and management confused. In my mind, the two are different. A leader is going to pioneer the way. They're going to cast vision. They're going to say, hey, I'm not exactly sure how we're going to get there, but this is where we're going. And I can tell you, as a leader of multiple teams, there have been times where I say, hey, girls, I really feel like we need to shift. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like. I welcome your grace as we try it, but I think for the benefit of the people that we are leading, let's make these tweaks, let's make these shifts, and just casting that vision of like where we're going and leading. Andy Stanley is another great thought leader on leadership. He says, lead with why. Always lead with why. And this shows up in not only my teams, not only just the people that I lead on the mat, but this shows up in my kids. This shows up in myself. I'm not going to follow myself to this goal or this thing if I don't even know why I'm going there. So we all know the importance of knowing your why and having your why. Having kind of the personal mission statement. I believe that God has called me and is equipping me along the way to empower people to live a life of freedom. So that looks like helping teachers find freedom in that work-life balance, or build a business that they feel called to build and the people they feel called to lead. Maybe that's in one-to-one coaching or on the mat. Like the mission is always the same. My mission is to empower people to experience freedom, to find freedom. And the way I do it and the tools and the things I show up with, they're going to change along the way. Right. So leading with why. So I have 5 thoughts that I want to just share with you as a yoga teacher. And if you're listening to this somewhere where you can like either take notes or grab a journal, piece of paper, this would be a great one to do that, because I'm going to share some thoughts with you. We'll just kind of go through them, and then I want to come back to each one and ask you some reflective questions. As a leader, I think it's very, very important to constantly be assessing what's happening, right? Hey, this is going good. This is maintaining itself. Like nothing needs to be tweaked right here, but what about over here? What are some areas that maybe I could bump my like level up just a little bit, right? Or I can let go of some stuff. Like I don't need to be focusing on making something that's already working better right now when I know I need to pour energy into this. So just a little, just some thoughts for you, and maybe some time to spend with in prayer or just writing out kind of your answers to these questions. So the first thought that I have for you as a leader: your energy sets the tone, right? So you teach more with your presence than you do with the cues that come out of your mouth. When you're grounded, nourished, and aligned, your clients, they can feel that. And I know this has looked for me and my own life in different seasons. Like right now, I'm in a season, I mean, like there's a lot going on. I'm sitting in an empty house, about to move out within the next week or two. Like seasons come and go, but also like I'm in a very like aligned season. Like I know where I'm headed. I'm doing the work on the daily basis, even when I can't see it, even when you can't feel it, even when I don't want to. But there have been seasons that I have not been that way. And that shows up in my seasons. Thank God for his grace that they stayed, or a lot of them stayed, in my wobbly, misaligned seasons, right? But they can feel it. They can feel your energy, especially when you share a physical space with them. I mean, think about it. Like how many classes have you been to, like yoga classes, fitness classes, where you walk in and you're just like, something's not right. Like I'm just not like, it's like the teacher went and turned the thermostat up way too high, and it's not a high yoga class. And you can just feel it, right? Even if you can't, if it's not tangible and you can't really like identify it fully. So knowing that the way that you show up and kind of what you're wrestling through, even if you're in a chaotic season, like, are you grounded? Are you aligned with the truth? Are you in God's word? That shows up in the unseen ways, right? So prioritize nervous system regulation through your own practice. This is a big one, you guys. Hopefully you're still practicing at some level. I know, especially like when we start teaching daily, or 5, 6, 7, 10 classes a week, it's really hard to get our own practice in. But even if it's 1 hour a week, because likely that's where we started. That's where God kind of intersected our hearts on our mat, was in that one class a week that we went to. You don't have to have a 5-day, you can, but like still spending time on your mat, doing your breath work, allowing that meditative space for God to show up and connect with you, just like he did in the beginning when he called you, right? So prioritize your nervous system and regulating your own stuff. And honestly, like that's a priority for me right now. Again, it hasn't always been, but this year I've really prioritized just working on my nervous system, my mind. I was at 5 days a week, breath work for 5 to 10 minutes. I mean, it's not a lot, you guys. But I think that's why, one of the reasons why I can show up to these spaces and not feel like, oh, sorts. And you know what I mean? Like, so prioritize that for yourself. So that's the first one. Your energy, the way you're showing up sets the tone. The next one is embodiment is your credential. The best leaders don't just teach wellness, they embody it. You guys, I mean, for those of you that are parents, who has had the kid like call you out on something where they're like, they figure it out quick. Like, mom tells me not to do this thing, but she's doing it. Even if they can't put language to it, there's a point where your kids figure out like, something's not right. You know what I mean? Like something's off here. So our students can also, the people that we are called to lead can feel that. Like if we're not embodying a sense of wellness, not just physical fitness, but an overall wellness, like mind, body, spirit, um, they could feel that. Again, it kind of goes back into setting that tone. Another thought in this embodiment is your consistent habits. So your nutrition, your movement, your sleep, your rest, how you talk to yourself and about yourself, that builds integrity and trust with the people that you lead, right? Like nobody wants to follow a leader. They won't for very long who is self-deprecating, who doesn't show up in their own for their own physical well-being, right? Like and this has nothing to do with body types. Hear me. What I'm saying is taking care of your body, daily movement, practicing what you preach, right? If you're always tired, if you're, like people can feel that, and your habits that you're keeping right now will eventually leak into those you lead. Okay, so I like this thought. Embodiment is your credential. That's your resume, right? The way that you're showing up and the way that you are operating yourself is your credential. Hey, teacher, if you're loving these episodes, these podcasts that we have been putting out, we're focusing on mindset, we're focusing on business, we're focusing on all the things, and you're like, man, these are awesome. I would love to hear more and I'd love to do more work within what I'm already doing. Let us know. We are praying about when, but we want to launch a teacher focused community where it is going to have a lot more resources for you, interaction on a regular basis with us as you dive deep into your next step. So if that's something you're interested in, we're going to drop a link in the show notes. Go click that, say, hey, I'm interested. And as that starts to be born, you will know about it and you'll get first dibs on signing up for it. The third thought that I want to share with you is practice before you pour out. We know this phrase, like we've heard it so many times. You can't serve from an empty vessel. Like you can't pour from an empty cup, right? What you give others should absolutely be an overflow of what you've cultivated within. I do believe that there's seasons, especially seasons of grief, where it's God 100%. God is absolutely the overflow that's coming out, and because we have nothing to give, and we still have to lead through those spaces, and that's where God, His strength is made the greatest, right? But let's also not just ride the waves of grace, right? Like let's do the work that we can do to infuse ourselves, to rebuild ourselves, making sure we're getting what we need, so that what's in will overflow in a positive way. Because what we're kind of seeing a theme of here is what's in will come out, even if it's not something that people can really put language around. And with that, commit to your own movement and mindfulness practice, not just for physical health, but also for that heart to heart alignment, like really taking time to do exactly what we're telling people to do, like let go, move your body, use your body as prayer and as worship. Come before Him just as you are, simply and honestly as you can manage. So committing to just a regular movement. For me, this looks like a yoga mat. A lot of times it looks like going for a run or a walk. Those are like my most like spiritually connected, especially through physical movement. So commit to that, because what you're practicing will overflow into those around you. Thought number 4 is boundaries make you a better leader. And let me just say, like, even just saying the word boundaries is triggering for some people because they recognize their lack of boundaries with others and their lack of boundaries with themselves. And I don't want you to feel any of those things, but this is so true, you guys. Boundaries make you a better leader. So protecting your time and energy, rest is not selfish, it's leadership, right? When the leader is better, we're all better. You have to take that. Like y'all, you've heard me say it so many times. If not, go back and listen to like one other episode. um, but I build in every single day, especially during my work week, like during the week, rest time. downtime. I get up early in the fours every single morning, 4 or 5 days or 5 or 6 days a week. And so I know, like, I need a reset in the middle of the day, so I built it in, right? That's a boundary that's saying, "Hey, between the hours of about 12 or 1 o'clock and 2 or 3 o'clock, I have 2 hours that y'all can't touch me." And that's where I go. It's, I always say, like, it's like plugging your phone into the charger. You guys usually about, like, when you're starting to see your battery get low in the day, that's probably an indication that you probably need to recharge too. I just built it in. That's a boundary. And it's not only to require respect and, like, people respect you when you respect yourself, right? But it's also a sense of self-respect, or I want to say self-protection, but not in the way that we always think of it, not like the armored way, like, but like you are taking care of you in this way. So that means setting boundaries with clients, social media, even your inner critic, right? And we want to create space for sustainable impact. That's what this will do. So I have, again, you may have heard me talk about my dependency on my screen and, like, how it gets unhealthy. Like, y'all, I don't keep social media on my phone most days. Like, I'll download it, schedule some things, go check the messages, and I get back off. So I've even had some pretty um spirited conversations around this. Things people are like, "Well, you didn't see this?" I'm like, "No, I didn't see this." Because if it's on my phone, I'm gonna sit there and doom scroll. So that's an addiction to me, and it's like an alcoholic walking into a bar. It's like they're just gonna be more likely to fall victim through it. And so I just that's a boundary. I have boundaries with my phone. Same thing with clients. Like, hey, I'm not gonna be texting you back at 10 o'clock at night. You know what I mean? So setting specific boundaries with your clients, with your own interactions with your social media, or just social output in general. No. Am I introverted, extroverted? Do I need more social interaction? Do I need less? And then also, like, the inner critic. We all have that inside voice in our head, right? Like, we're constantly talking to ourselves throughout the day. Some of us have essentially like an inner bully. So pay attention to that and, like, cut that stuff off, right? Set some boundaries. Like, hey, we're not doing this today. I'm a child of God. I'm made for brave things. Even if I feel afraid, I'm going to step into it. I'm an obedient person. I'm a disciplined person. So everything you have to say right now, we're done. Like, cut that out, right? So boundaries make you a better leader. The last thought that I have for you is that you are the culture carrier. You are the one that's holding the torch in a dark room, lighting it up. Okay? You are carrying the culture. So your well-being as a human shapes the culture of your classes, your studio spaces, or coaching. If you're doing any kind of coaching, you set the tone. You are the culture carrier. You teach people how to treat you and what to expect when they're in your presence, when they're in your experiences, right? So the more you evolve, the more community, it's going to go up with you, right? Your transformation becomes permission for theirs. Let me say it one more time. Your transformation becomes permission for theirs. So as I was kind of penciling through this and thinking through it, I thought about the times where my yoga classes really were about me. It was like, I want to learn this. I like how I feel when people when they're like, "Oh, I love that. Can I have your playlist?" And I just love it so much. And I did. It was all about, maybe not all, but it was a lot about how I felt in those experiences and after and all of that. And thank God that two things can be true at once, because I still love those things. I still love creating and crafting, even sitting down to write out the notes for this podcast. Like, I love, like, that energy around it. But my goal is to empower them, right? Like, I want my clients to be so empowered that if I leave and I'm just gone, they know what to do next. They know where to go. They know where their resources are. They know what they are capable of. I want them to feel empowered, right? So I was thinking through that, just like, okay, there have been times, and I'm certain there still will be times, where my ego was more important than making sure I'm serving them the ways that God has called me to do. So that was kind of like the first, like, check of, like, Okay. But I do feel like as I've matured and grown as a leader, it truly is about the people that I serve. Like, of course, we can't cater to every single one because in a class of 20 people, you're going to have 20 different personalities and preferences and likes and dislikes. So, again, you kind of have to know who you are, where you're going, hold that torch, set the temperature in the room, and go with it. And the people who are aligning with that will go with you. But I like for me, like it's so much more about them having an experience in my presence, in like where God is calling me, whatever room that looks like, whatever screen that looks like. I want them to experience a holy God and I want them to experience truth about who they really are because I am under the idea, the thought that so many of us struggle so much, whether it's in your business, your life, your mental life, wherever, relationships, because we have lost sight of who we are. We have lost sight of our identity. Okay. So remember who you are. You are the culture carrier. And as you transform, you give others permission to do the same. Okay. Let's go back. So we talked about, our energy sets the tone. So the thought here was you teach more with your presence than your actual cues, right? So when you're grounded, you're feeling good, you're feeling aligned. Even if your outside world is chaos, people can still feel that alignment, right? So grabbing a piece of paper or just thinking through this or stick it in your notes. My question would be, how am I currently showing up in the spaces I lead? Like, what energy do I bring with me? And is it aligned with who I'm called to be? So I'm going to say it again so you can write down or you can pause and listen to me. How am I currently showing up in the spaces I lead? What energy am I bringing with me? And is that energy aligned with who I'm called to be? So maybe you pause right here and you just start writing some thoughts down. Hey, if it's there, if it's kind of flowing out of you, go girl or boy. You just go. A follow up question that I might have for you, if we were having a conversation, I think I will maybe ask you these questions. The coach in me would say, "What helps you feel the most grounded?" Maybe before you teach or lead in any capacity. What do you have any kind of rhythms or routines or rituals, if you will? Like what helps you feel the most grounded before you teach or lead? Okay, and then the second one was embodiment being your credentials. Gosh, I just love that. I just love that so much. So remember, the best leaders don't just teach, they embody it. They don't teach wellness, they embody it. And your consistent habits build integrity and trust with those you lead. You guys, kind of just like side note right here, real quick. Like, I am on the receiving end of this in this season, and I'm not going to go into too much, but someone who has led me consistently for almost 2 years now, I'm seeing this play out negatively, and it makes me want to rise up as a leader even more because the way you show up is definitely builds or breaks trust with the people you lead. Okay, so here's my question for you. In what areas of wellness or in my mindset am I practicing what I teach? I like this. Like, let's go look for the ways that we are showing up. So, what areas of wellness, or you can fill in the blank, fitness, my soul care, mindset, am I practicing what I teach? I'm coming in with follow-up question. Where am I out of alignment? And what's one small shift that could bring me closer to that integrity? Where am I out of alignment? And what's one small shift that can bring me closer to integrity? Mm. Maybe you guys, because I am again on the receiving end of this in real time right now. I'm feeling this deeply, but also like I want people to be like, she does what she said. She shows up for me because what that communicates is when she shows up for her in all these ways and she practices what she preaches, she'll show up for me. There's such a connection that happens there with your students and your teams and people you lead. Okay, so number 3 was practice before you pour out, right? So we talked about, you can't serve from an empty vessel. What you give others is an overflow from what you've cultivated within. It can go both ways. And then just, making that commitment to your own movement and mindfulness and all the things, soul care. So here is my question. I got a couple questions for you. What does my personal practice look like right now? Movement, rest, stillness, soul care. What does my personal practice look like right now? Movement, rest, stillness, or soul care? And your follow up question is it nourishing me or is it just another should? Is it nourishing me or is it just another should? And the last question about practicing before you pour out is what needs more attention? All right, moving on. Number 4, boundaries make you a better leader. Amen. Amen. Makes you a better human. Makes you a better human, right? So remember, protecting your time, your energy, and your rest. It's not selfish. It's leadership. Setting boundaries with clients, with ourselves, social media. So when we're thinking through boundaries, y'all ready? Here we go. Where do I feel stretched too thin? Where do I feel stretched too thin? Feel free to hit pause, write it out, come back. The next question I have for you is what boundary with time, people, or myself would help me lead with more clarity and peace? And here comes the zinger. You ready? What boundary have I been afraid to set? And why? So I just want to make a little note here on boundaries. I think the reason that boundaries are so hard for people is because there's a lot of unhealed wounds within us. And so if you're like really feeling this and you're like, oh my gosh, what's happening here? Allow the Lord to show you some things in that. Because your next step for boundary setting might be getting that therapy, right? So getting some counsel, really therapying, like why is it that I won't set boundaries? But boundaries make you a better leader and it gives you a more peaceful life, right? Like when you set boundaries with yourself and other people, you just live in a more peaceful life. All right, last one, you guys. You are the culture carrier. Remember, your well-being shapes the culture of your experiences. The more you evolve, oh, I love this so much. The more your community is going to grow with you. Your transformation becomes permission for theirs. That we could end the podcast right here and be done. Your transformation becomes permission for theirs. If that's not purpose, I don't know what is. Like God is so good and He is so kind that He will transform us if we'll let Him. If we'll stop white knuckling life and the way we think it should be and the way that we think He should heal us, He will also make that access to those you lead to have availability to that transformation. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love leadership. I love talking about leadership and this makes me so excited. So let's get on to the question, shall we? What kind of culture or atmosphere do I want to create in my classes or my experiences? So with your teams, with anybody you're coaching, your group fitness, like what kind of culture or atmosphere do I want to create? And the last question I have for you, just to follow up to that one, is how am I reflecting that in the way that I live, speak, and lead? How am I reflecting that in the way that I live, speak, or lead? All right, you guys, I hope that that's something like a light bulb turned on for you. This is what I live for. I love those light bulb moments. Will you please take a moment to share with me? Shoot me an email or however you can get in touch with me. I want to hear how this touched you today, like how it reached you. Did it open up the windows and the blinds and did it give you just some new thoughts, maybe some hope? maybe clarity of just like, oh, that's it, right? Or maybe it challenged you. When I hear things like this, it challenges me to take a real honest look at how I'm showing up as a leader. Like I can't be mad at my team if they're showing up sluggish and like apathetic and all of that when I am doing the same, right? Like I'll go first. And that goes both ways, right? I'll go first. So I want to take this risk and I want you guys to trust me. What am I doing to build that trust? Right? And why are we doing it? So I hope that this was helpful for you where you're at in your leadership journey. Know that like where you are today, like I love again Andy Stanley, great thought leader on leadership. He says, what got you here will not get you there. And I like to kind of reverse that. Like where you're at right now, like you've done the work or not. Like where you are is where you are. But like start with what you can, do what you can, and just take that next step. Thank you so much for being here today. As always, share this with, I mean, you guys, this is for yoga teachers. That look, if there's somebody you know that like can really benefit from any of these episodes, send them. This is how we get the message out because we don't charge for these. We don't have sponsors. Like the best way we can grow is by you taking that next step by just hitting that share button and saying, hey, I heard this awesome podcast today that really challenged me. I'd love for you to listen to it and let's discuss it. Super easy, right? Like we get to help other people. So thank you again for being here, for giving me a moment to just chat solo. I'm sure Nick will be back and our audio will be so much better and everything will be so much better. But listen, we love bringing these podcasts to you. It is so much fun for us to get to kind of use all of the things that we've learned, the gifts that God's given us, and get it into the hands of other leaders and teachers just like you. As summer approaches, we're actually going to slow down our release rhythm. So you'll see a little bit fewer of podcasts from us, but this is my challenge to you. Go back, start listening to the unlistened podcast or re-listen and allow God just to kind of speak to you through those. And we'll be back at it. We've got some new things coming on the radar just for you. So hang tight, stick with us. We love getting to do this work alongside you and with you and for you. So thank you. Your support is always, always appreciated. And we will see you on the next one.